As Benjamin Netanyahu engineered a remarkable comeback, emerging from a year in opposition to regain the premiership for an unprecedented third time. Netanyahu was certainly Israel's Person of the Year, and we go into 2023 wondering where he will lead the country. Earlier, I spoke with veteran political journalist Mazal Mualem, author of the critically acclaimed new biography, Cracking the Netanyahu Code. We discussed the mysteries behind what drives Netanyahu to continually strive for leadership of the Jewish state and how often, against the odds, he succeeds in obtaining it again and again. Mazal Mualem, thank you for joining us on I-24 News.
Thank you for having me.
Well, let's talk about Benjamin Netanyahu. This, of course, the subject of your new book, Cracking the Netanyahu Code. A lot of questions being asked now about what kind of Benjamin Netanyahu he will be in his third term in Prime Minister. But first of all, how did he achieve it? What's his political secret? He is the political magician of Israel.
I don't think that he's a magician. Netanyahu is not a magician. Netanyahu works hard. It's a question of personality, of ideology, of determination. It's his ability to bridge the extremes in Israel's society, to use some sort of political energy in order to raise. This is not the first time that he does this. It happened after Rabin's assassination in 1996, when he crashed in the polls after the assassination, and within 8 months he managed to raise again, to make a comeback. I think there's a similarity between that period and today, how he won the elections. I call this the alliance of the underprivileged. All of the different people that feel excluded, that are not part of the hegemony of the left wing, he always knows how to reunite them and turn them into political energy, into fuel, and together with them he makes a comeback. At the time, there was a feeling that the whole right-wing arena was responsible for the assassination, and now with the coalition of change and his trial led to many people in Israel to feel identified with him, to feel deprived, to feel that this is a process and this is the way in which he has come back. There's no magic here.
Shum Kesem, but it's shrewd politics, of course. Well, let's talk about what kind of Netanyahu we're going to see in the upcoming government. For the first time, you could say he's the more moderate figure in the government. Is he going to be the cautious pragmatist we sometimes see him as, or more of the ideologue, the person who has inherited, certainly from his father, a strong ideology for what's called Greater Israel?
Netanyahu is a pragmatist, as a leader and as a politician. This is the first time, you're right, that he's going to be the head of a right-wing Orthodox party government. There's no one at his left. He will be the far left in his government. He will have to maneuver all of this. He will have to face the Democrat-American administration, Biden, a community that is very concerned with what is happening in Israel and what will happen in Israel's society. Whether we're going to have an extreme right government that will annex, I don't think so. I don't think that Netanyahu will make any far-reaching moves or annex territories. He will try to manage the conflict. And it may even help him with Biden. He may say, see, I have a very extremist government, I have to do this and this. He is very experienced in the political arena. May I remind you that he stood 8 years facing Obama's administration, which was a very difficult administration with him. He is going to be the landlord of his government. He will think about the legacy. It's true, he has his own ideology, but it's not an annexation ideology.
Okay, now you described very well how he made his political comeback over the age of 70, but the big question a lot of people ask is, why does he keep doing it? What is the key to his personality? That's, as you say, the Netanyahu code. Have you cracked it? What drives this man to just keep going and keep going?
I think that, first of all, he feels he has a mission. He is an Israeli patriot. He has a mission that runs in the family. It's not just his father. Not many people know this. It's not just Benjamin Netanyahu, the historian. His grandfather, Natan Milikovsky. He comes from a dynasty of a Zionist, revisionist, right-wing family, and he just continues with the family legacy. The relay baton is going from father to son, and that's his mission. He cannot lose. When he fell from the government the last time, I was sure that he would remain at the opposition in order to come back. He cannot lose. It's stronger than him. It's part of his personality that helps him to be re-elected. Of course, there's a whole public that goes after him. He is a master of social networks. And he doesn't even need his party. He faces the public directly.
He's the son of a historian. If you know him, and I've interviewed him, he knows history, loves reading about history. So surely he must think about his historical legacy. So how do you think he sees what his historical legacy will be, what he wants it to be, what even maybe he'll achieve in this coming term to establish that?
Well, it's true. Netanyahu always thinks about his legacy. His father was a historian. He always thinks about not just what people will think in one generation, but in 1,000 years. He sees himself as Churchill, Ben Gurion, the greatest leaders in the world. He wants to be remembered as such, and that's why I think he will not make any moves that may spoil his legacy. He wants to be the protector of Israel. He wants to leave a security legacy, a political legacy. The Abraham Accords are his legacy. He wants to broaden them. In fact, he wants to say, when I started my political career, at the time of the Oslo agreements, I said that the Oslo agreements were bad for security, and slowly but surely I have managed to set them aside, and I have created a new paradigm. First, peace with the Arab countries. The Palestinians will follow. Whether he's right or not, whether there will be any unforeseen events during his mandate, perhaps security unrest in the West Bank, we cannot know. But this is the way in which Netanyahu wants to be remembered. He will have to maneuver within a right-wing government, with the American administration, a Democratic administration, the fighting opposition, perhaps street protests. It's not easy. But he's a person that evolves. He comes back a different person every time, and this will be a different Netanyahu.
And I'll just end by asking, will there be an end? When will Benjamin Netanyahu end his political career, or are we looking at another decade of Benjamin Netanyahu being the dominant figure in Israel?
It's a great question. I think that if he can, he definitely will. He is a healthy person. He's 73, but his father passed away at the age of 103. I think he's very similar to Shimon Peres. Peres was like a phoenix. At the age of 90, he was asked, would you like to be a candidate to prime minister? And he didn't say no. So Netanyahu is stronger than him. This is his life. Nothing else matters for him.
All right. Mazal Mualem, author of the book in Hebrew, Cracking the Netanyahu Code, and I hope we're going to be seeing it in English. It's gotten terrific reviews. Thank you for joining us on this special I-24 News broadcast.